Morning. So welcome back to Papa's Plants. I'm Papa. So today we're going to do a couple things. See, first thing we're going to do is probably going to check on the worm trap. We set that in the worm bed last week and trying to separate the worms from the castings. So we're going to be checking on the trap, see how many worms we got. We've got to start splitting some hosta. Now, this is the time of year I like to do it. Everything's sort of dying back, looking pretty ugly. So I get in there and look and see what I really need to get split this year. Try to get as much of that as I can done. Try to get some root growth on the new divisions, and so they can have a really good start next spring. Also, we've got some hosta here that's got some seed pods, some open pollinated seed pods that I've been waiting on that I'm real excited about. So we're going to be harvesting some seed pods too. So hang in there with us today. Stick around, and we'll be right back. Okay, we're here at the worm bed. So I've got the lid off, and I haven't removed the cardboard top yet. So we're going to be able to see together what's going on. So let's take a look and see how our trap worked. Okay, worked okay, I hope. I'm going to show you right here the worms. There's worms all over the top of the bed here. So for whatever reason, we didn't. Let's see if you can see that. We didn't catch as many as I hoped we would catch. So let's see what's going on. All right, so here's our trap. Yeah, let's see what's going on. Got a box here. We're going to take a look. See if I can make sure and get that in the shot. You can't see that, but we got jillions of worms, and there's a little bit of this peach bait that I put in there last time is still in there. Sorry. So this thing's going to need to be baited again. Well, we didn't get as good a capture as I was hoping for. So we're going to rebait the trap. Make sure we get good contact. I've done the same thing here as far as our bedding. It's just about a 50-50 mix of compost that I make here on the farm and peat moss with a few leaves mixed in. There were some leaves laying up on top of the compost pile this morning. We're already getting some leaf drop here. Second week of September. Of course, it's been bone dry this year, and sometimes we get a quick leaf drop. That's a little much. Let me pull a little dab of that out. We get an early leaf drop sometimes here in 8B when we have a real dry summer. All right, got another bag of peaches left over from this year's harvest. We're gonna put about half of them in there. Once again, I should have took them out of the freezer last night, and I took them out early this morning. They're a little frosty, but they will thaw quick. All right, a little more bedding. Get these peaches in here right quick. Like I said, I am disappointed in the amount of worms that we've caught. Oh, get these out of here. This fell right there. Would have liked to seen us have a better capture rate, but There's no more food in the bed. All the food now is in the trap. And they will absolutely come to the food. So I was hoping a couple weeks, 2 to 3 weeks. It may take three times that we have to bait the trap, but I'm in no hurry. All right, so we got the bait trap, the trap baited again, and we've got our capture here now. As you can see, well, you can't now, but when I pulled the trap and dumped it in his box, it was absolutely loaded with worms. And this is a little bit of a area now in this box they can't get out of. They can nibble on the rest of them peaches. There's some food in there, and they can work on that box a little bit, but they can't really get out of this box. So what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna seal it up. I'm gonna set it. We're on the other side, out of the way. We're gonna let this trap go another week and see where we are. All right, we'll come back out and take a look at it again next week. Okay, so now we're at one of my work tables, and we're going to divide a couple of hosta. I've got some of these that I need to get going a little bit sooner than others as far as getting them divided for particular reasons. So this spring, late spring, I was selling, and I happened to notice that I only had 2 of these Island Breeze left. I was like, dang, you know, as a grower, if you sell all your stock, you don't have anything to sell next year. So probably not going to have anything, any of these ready for next year, but at least I've still got the variety, so I can grow these out. Maybe next year, split them off again. I'll have a few to sell the following summer. So we're going to get started on these Island Breeze. This is a red leg, what I call a red leg, a red petiole. I'm sort of impartial to the red petiole. So first thing we're going to do is we'll cut off these blooming stalks. We don't need those, they're in the way. And pull it out, see what we got. I'm going to go ahead and pot these. I'm going to split these in 2. Wow, they got a great root system on them. So I'm going to try to break these in 2 and pot them up in 1-gallon pots, and we'll just see where we are. So when I let them get this root bound, they're a little tough to get apart, but we'll see. We'll see how it comes out. Of course, I'm not very careful with my hosta. I'm just going to be honest with you. People talk about be careful, you're ripping the roots and all that. Well, these things don't care. They could care less. Let's see. Is that even 2 eyes in there? You know what I'm going to do? I'm just going to pot this thing, get it out of that 4x4. I'm going to get it in a 1 gallon and let it go another year. Now, again, everybody's got their own way of doing things. And this is how I do things. Every time I fool with a plant, whether it's an ornamental plant or a hosta or whatever the case may be, I trim it up. Of course, I don't trim a hosta on top, but I do trim up on the roots a little bit. I had a guy tell me one time, a long time ago, real smart guy, knew a lot about gardening. He told me that by pruning the roots, it invigorates the roots too. And I don't need all that. Sorry. I don't need all that to go into a 1-inch pot. So I'm going to come down here and I'm going to take, just nip the ends good. So we're going to pot it up in a 1-gallon pot. Using some of my homemade mix here. Now, I'm not going to get into it today about my homemade mix, but I will be getting, I'll give you the formula, you know, the next few weeks when I really start making a lot of divisions, potting up. I'll let you know what I use. Oh Lord, let me Get you up here, I guess, is where I need to be. All right, so I'm not going to try to divide that one. That may be 2 eyes in there, but it is late in the fall, and I don't want to really shock it too much. All right, so that's one. Get that tag in there. All right, so we got another one here, and I can clearly see there is 2 eyes in here. Maybe 2 decent eyes and 1 small eye, but we'll see. So let's take that blooming stalk off. See what we're working with. Yeah, these should have been potted up. As soon as I realized I was down to 2 pots during the summer, I really should have potted them up right then. But you know, we're busy around here in the summer. I still work a full-time job. This is just a hobby for me. So I'm out here on the weekends trying to keep things going. So we got a little one right here. Little eye trying to come off to the side. All right. So to me, like I said, these hostas are almost indestructible, and they're tough as nails, but you know what? I just don't want to go ripping through them. So if I can help them out a little bit, make sort of a clean cut, I will. So I've got absolutely two separate eyes there. There you go. And I'm going to go right down between them. Pretty simple. All right, there's one plant. And there's another plant. I'm going to leave that side eye on there and let it mature a little bit. So I was hoping to get 4 out of those. Ended up getting 3. But we'll grow them out next year. And by the end of next year, we should have 6, 7, hopefully. That's the plan anyhow. That's what we do. So again, we're going to give it just a little bit of a haircut. Now, when you're repotting hostas, about the most important thing you can do is make sure you don't cover them up, or well, make sure you don't plant them too deep. The hosta's got a crown on it, and that crown, which is right where the petioles come out of the ground, it needs to be exposed. So you can see right there, right where that hosta's coming out of the ground. Those petioles will come out, the ground's exposed. Now this will also, as I water these in good the next couple of days, they will they'll settle. They'll settle probably 1/2 inch or so. And I'd rather have a little bit too much of the crown exposed than them be too low. All right, so here's another one. Okay, we can give it a haircut. And let's see, we got one more 1 gallon. Yeah. Once again, we're going to keep that crown. That plant up at the top. Uh-oh. I just realized that Got my tripod leaning up against the table, and every time I push down on these Hosta, you're probably shaking like an earthquake. Sorry about that. I'll try to be a little more careful. Okay. All right, so we end up with three really nice plants. Like I said, we'll grow them out. We'll grow them out next summer, and hopefully we'll end up with 5 or 6. And following summer, we can sell a few and keep growing them. These like this that I'm not going to sell next year, I'll throw the fertilizer of these big time and keep them watered good. They'll take off. All right. That's Island Breeze. This next one is called Maya King Snake, and it is absolutely one of my favorites. I've had this one for a couple, 3 years. I've sold a few divisions off of it, but Maya King Snake is, you don't see it a lot. It's not hugely popular, but it is sought after to some extent. It's actually a very good hosta to use for pollinating. It's very fertile. Very fertile. Okay. All right. So I have got. Am I ready? Yeah. I got a couple more 2-gallon pots here. I'm gonna break these up at least 2 different plants. And I would say it's time. I would say it is absolutely time. So let's see if I can get this thing broke up a little bit. Get it apart. I got roots running around the rim of this thing. Unreal. Well, this is another one that should have been potted up, split and potted up late spring, early summer. I'm gonna have to do better. I gotta break this ring up. I can't even get it. I'm not gonna be able to get it apart if I can't break out this ring. Like I said, they're tough. You can do whatever you gotta do to get them apart. All right, you know what? It's gonna take me a minute to get this thing busted up. Hang tight, I'll be right back. Okay, so we've been working on it here. What I've been doing is just taking these little scissors right here and just sort of digging in and pulling them roots down like that, just breaking it up that way. And now I took my knife and I'm going right between these 2 big divisions here. And I'm just gonna open it up, not cut down through the roots, but just like that right there. So now I have 2, let's see how I can show you, 2 separate plants, 2 nice plants. Probably still 2 more eyes here, but I'm not going to take it down too tight, too small. All right, I'll take a little bit bigger pot, take a 2-gallon. Again, I'm going to give it a haircut. You need to get that dirt packed in around them roots as tight as you can. I don't like to have air pockets around my roots. I like to make sure we get that good and tight. All right, there's one division. I give that thing a really good haircut, but look at all the roots left on there. Plenty. We'll get a little bit of root growth this fall. But next spring, when it warms up and this thing starts coming out, them roots will take off. And I'm probably gonna need to watch it pretty close. I'm gonna need to probably get it stepped up to the next size pot. Okay. Okay, so we talked about at the beginning of the video that we was going to be doing harvesting a few seed pods from our hostas that are ready. Unfortunately, during me making this video this morning, it started drizzling pretty good and things are getting wet pretty quick. So I'm going to show you one right quick, and we may have to put off the big harvest until next week. And I'm sorry again, the lighting's poor right here, but I'm just trying to stay dry. So let me get one pod to show you. Okay, this is a seed pod from a variety called Ting Tang. And I don't know if you can notice, but right up in here, some of these are brown, completely dried, and they've cracked open. And there's the ant right there. And they've cracked open, and they're getting ready to spill their seeds, so they have to be harvested now. I would probably wait a few days if it for the fact that I was scared I'm going to lose some of these seeds. But this is a variety called Ting Tang. They are ready. There's a couple of green pods on there. They're turning yellow, a little brown. They'll completely finish drying out. But what I typically do is I've got all my tags out here with me. So when I'm harvesting, I'll just grab a tag, write the name on it. I'll take it in the house. I've got some little brown paper bags. I'll stick it in a brown paper bag, let it sit in the house where it's nice and dry out. I don't fool with them. I just wait until you know, maybe the middle of December. I'll pull them out, start cleaning them up, getting ready to plant them. I typically plant. I'm off a lot during Christmas time, so especially between Christmas and New Year's. So I'll take that time and I'll pot these up. I'll direct sow these in some trays and grow them out all winter up under some grow lights. Okay, so I promise you next week we'll get in here and we'll get some seed pods collected and some different varieties and let you see that. Plus, we got to go back and look at that worm trap and see what's going on with that worm trap. I caught a bunch of worms this last week, but I'm hoping to catch a bunch more this next week. And again, it may take a third week to get them all, or enough for them so I'm satisfied. So, all right, guys, appreciate you coming along with me today. Appreciate you being here. All of you that has already subscribed, I really do appreciate that. If you guys see this video, you like it. If you don't mind, would you please subscribe and like it? So again, till next week, have a great day.